Who would have thought a little innocent piece of lifeless wood would actually tear apart a family? All because I did something crazy like that. Oh, that's so offensive. I should be locked up in an insane asylum because I kissed my guitar. Not like any other guitar player ever does that. Yep, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because I don't give a shit anymore. My husband's sister decided to pitch a really bad shit fit, temper tantrum about me taking the guitar and kissing it in public. Oh no, oh no, oh no. And she decided to wait a day and then decided to inbox him and bitch at him about me. And he waited a couple of days because he was like, it's a really stupid thing to bring something up to her, but, I'll try to bring it up, nice and light because we both know this is fucking stupid and she's gonna lose her mind, right? So, of course I did. I was like, you guys are so goddamn, pathetic and, weak and stuff to say that, I took my guitar to this thing. Everybody smiled in my face and, gave me love and everything like that. And the day afterward, there was fucking mudslinging towards me saying, oh yeah, I need to be locked up in an insane asylum, or I need addiction count. Well, I need, I need to not bring my guitar so I could make out with it in public or something like that. And I'm like, the guitar sat in my lap for a majority of the time I was there. Maybe I fell asleep with it in my lap. Maybe I gave it a nice cute peck on the neck. I mean, how could you not? One, she's a Les Paul. She's like something I've saved a lot for, something I've wanted all of my life, my first sunburst. I assembled a lot of her parts because she came as a husk or carcass, or as just an empty body without the electronics installed. And some of the parts are gone, so I installed the parts and the electronics to my spec, and now I have a really good guitar. That sounds good, feels good, plays good, looks good. Why not, right? So anyway, I ranted about it on, Facebook, social media, and of course, my page, I can say whatever the fuck I want. If you're offended, oh well, that's your fucking problem. I said what I needed to say, and that's it. And so she's like, oh yeah, your wife is disgusting because she's posting all this stuff on Facebook and blah 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 blah. And we're like, okay, yeah, you're allowed to feel that way. And she's allowed to fucking post whatever she wants because it's her fucking page, right? So she again, like later, I was like, well, this whole thing has absolutely nothing to do with me or the guitar. It has something more to do with her losing her social life, having to babysit her mother that's suffering from dementia. God, help her. Her, getting pissy because her husband spends, odd hours out of the house because he's a delivery guy, and her losing, a sister-in-law also that she was close to, the same person I was, grieving when she, died too. Mind you, I did not name this guitar, my husband did, because he was the one that actually wired this guitar together and ended up calling her Amber because she decided, to be a little bit of a pain in the ass to, work. The neck pickup didn't want to work, and he was getting irritated because I was getting irritated because here was this guitar, I wanted to play it, I wanted to, use it and stuff right as soon as I bought it, but nothing was working and we were getting irritated, and she was giving us a hard time. So he's like, well, what's the top mean girl name that's out there? So he went out and looked for it, and he's like, okay, Amber. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And my sister-in-law's husband's sister was named Amber. She passed away a couple of years later after I've got this guitar due to a drug overdose, and I took it bad. I spiraled out of control, but I kind of got my grip after a little while. I don't take death very, very well. Anyways, that aside, I thought I'd take this guitar one year, the first year, in honor of the fallen, saying, yeah, she was a musician too. She loved guitars. She loved to play guitars. She was very, interested in music and stuff, and she was very excited for me to actually meet, you look at this guitar after I had it finished. But things happened. And before she passed away, I remember my sister-in-law saying something like, yeah, I asked her about Amber, and she's like, well, you're better off without her. You're better off not wasting your time with her. 1 month later, she's dead. And I was like, you know what? That could have been so much better. That could have ended so much better than it did. The last words I heard this woman say about this person she supposedly loved, saying, oh yeah, well, you're better off without her. You're better off, leaving her alone, blah, 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 blah. She's nothing but trash, blah, 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 And I'm like, how dare you say that to somebody? You mean, yeah, they might have their problems, but shit. That's them. You don't need to cut them down any lower than they already are. But, the guitar was already named Amber, and I'm like, the human Amber loved music. She loved guitar. She loved being spontaneous. She loved being a free spirit. She loved, life and every single second of it, regardless of what happened. Regardless of, her vices. And I thought, she was happy to, meet this guitar or hold this guitar, get to know it and stuff like that, and I made her into a tribute to the person I considered one of my musical best friends. First year it was fine, no problem. Everybody was like, oh, that's so sweet and stuff. The second year, Amber's family was like, that is absolutely sweet. I'm thank you for thinking of Amber and stuff, and thank you for, bringing the guitar in her memory. My sister-in-law, on the other hand, was just, first she could have pulled me aside and said, oh yeah, I'd like for you to put the guitar away, for whatever reason and stuff. I'd be like, your house, whatever, no problem. It's cool. As long as you're not being a fucking asshole about it, then cool, no problem. I'll put the guitar away. But no, she decides to wait a whole day for my husband, Facebook my husband and tell him and bitch at him about how horrible of a person I am and crazy I am and stuff, because I was with my guitar. I had it in my lap the whole time. I gave it a peck on the neck a couple of times, and I'm no longer invited to music or family functions if I've got any musical instruments in tow. I've apologized to the guests, saying I'm sorry if I've made anybody uncomfortable, and they all said, you didn't make us uncomfortable. We were glad to see Guitar Amber. We knew who she represented. So that happened, and her and my husband had a little bit of back and forth between each other, and my husband's like, you know what? Despite what the fuck's going on, I'm not gonna turn on my wife because of you. And then she goes and blocks me and stuff. after posting some passive aggressive bullshit like, oh yeah, your pity train is, going and blah 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 blah, stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, we all know that's for me, you fucking child. He's like, oh yeah, if you want to post it all over Facebook. I'm like, I vented on my page, I'm allowed to do that. I don't need your fucking permission. So she blocked me, no problem. Then she decided, I guess one of her daughters decided to come to my inbox and decided to badmouth me. I told her to fuck off. Then she went to my husband and started crying about me telling her to fuck off, and he's like, well, what do you expect? You go to her mailbox, you go and harass her, and how the fuck do you expect her to retaliate? And this person, the daughter, was saying I should have addiction counseling for my guitar. When this person, fucking hypocrite that she is, decides to say, yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, well, you telling me to have addiction counseling when you drink like a fucking fish, smoke chimp folks cigarettes like nobody's business, and you smoke pot in order to fucking function in the morning, and so does your mother, so you got no fucking room to talk. And she goes back to my husband saying, oh yeah, well my mother is taking care of your mother, and you should have your family's back, and she's not a part of our family because she was married in, and blah blah blah. And then she told me the same thing too, like, if you weren't married to my uncle, you're not even part of my family in the first place. And I'm like, okay, if I'm not a part of your family, then that's fine. I don't need your fucking pity, and I don't need your, projections of your fucking piece of shit life, because your life sucks. You don't need to take me down with you. And yes, it was me who watched their mother for that whole week while John was in the hospital. While my husband was in the hospital getting, surgical procedures done. And he was home recovering, and I took care of his mother while that was all going on, along with my 10-year-old daughter at the time. I did it for John, I didn't do it for her. She can go fucking jump in front of a train, I don't give a shit. I don't care if she sees this or not, But I love this guitar. It's like been there for me when I had nobody else to turn to. It's been my best friend. I mean, you see, check out a channel around here. It's called Music is Win. You'll see this guy. He loves the shit out of his PRS single cut, and he kisses it on camera. He talks to it. He babies it like crazy. He even calls it baby. He even had it upgraded and modified a little bit. And I understood. I understood everything. Every video he posted, I was like, I feel the exact same way about my Les Paul. I mean, I have other Les Pauls over here. I mean, I even have a custom shop Les Paul over here, but and another traditional. But this one, she's my baby because she's my first sunburst. She was one I decided to put together myself from a blank body. She's everything I've always wanted ever since I started playing guitar at the age of 12. And I'm not sorry. Yep. Her name is Amber. She's got her own little plate thing here. She's a Les Paul 2016 Les Paul Traditional. With a Switchcraft switch / Alnico 2 Pro signature humbuckers. It's a set, a pickup set. Long shaft 500K CTS pots. with the reflector knobs, regular Nashville bridge and regular stop tail, switchcraft jack, paper and oil caps, very nice fat neck, it's fun to play. And inside has paper and oil, yep. And there's the wiring that a friend of mine did for me. After my husband was like, you know what, fuck it, let's take it to somebody with like, that's a professional, like, okay, so I know somebody in Palm Beach that can, fix her up. Lo and behold, fixed her up, and damn, she screams. I have some videos of me playing, and I'll probably upload them sometime in another random noodling thing. But yep, she's my baby. I'm not sorry. I love this guitar. She's always by my side in the bedroom in the guitar stand. And she's always all by my side here while I'm, in here. If I feel inspired, I just pick it up and play. And she's by my side in the living room. If I'm inspired, I pick her up and play. But yeah. Yeah, if you must ask, I'm cheap. I use Kleenex I use the toilet paper instead of Kleenex, because Kleenex is too fucking much, and toilet paper you can buy in bulk and use as Kleenex anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, so there you have it. Whoever knew a musical instrument, a non-entity, a non-being, could tear up a fucking family over mediocre bullshit? How dare you, Amber? How dare you break up my family? You naughty, naughty girl. I'm kidding. Only person to blame is the person that decided to, pitch a fit about it in the first place. She knows she's wrong. She doesn't want to admit it, and that's all that is. That's all there is. It's just there. I'm not sorry. I love my guitar. And that's all I have to say. See ya.